Hey guys, it's Sapphire Yagami with a review of Reign, Season 2, Episodes 17 to 22. So, in Episode 17, titled Tempting Fate, Mary's agent Ripley is killed while preparing the route for Mary's escape to Scotland, and his letters from Mary are stolen. Louis confesses to Mary about his meetings with Burgess. Although angered at first, Mary works together with Louis to manipulate Burgess into giving them information they need on the safe routes to Scotland. Mary demands that Louis chooses between her and Elizabeth. Louis chooses Mary and they have sex. Bash and Killa separate. While investigating the case, Bash is mortally wounded but is saved by Delphine when he begs her to, despite her reminder that miracles come with a price. Unknown to Mary, her letters outlining her plans were taken by General Renaud, who passes them to Narcisse, who then informs Catherine. When Catherine tells Francis, he collapses, blood drips from his ears, and Catherine fears that this means Nostradamus' prophecy is coming true. Narcisse comforts her and they have sex. When Catherine learns that Claude is trying to seduce Narcisse, she orders Leah to become Claude's bodyguard. Leah attempts to get an annulment for Greer and meets a cardinal who is intrigued by his case. 18 is titled Reversal of Fortune. Frances remains unconscious and is feared to be dying. Mary receives news that her loyalists in Scotland are under attack by Protestants. She tries to send French soldiers to the cause but is blocked by Catherine and Narcisse. Bash fears that Narcisse's sickness is the cause of him being revived by Delphine. He discovers Clarissa is alive in a village and poisons her, hoping her death will save Francis. Soon after, Francis wakes up while Mary is by his side. Despite Catherine's protests, Francis gives Mary the soldiers she needs, citing Francis' alliance with Scotland. However, Francis tells Mary that he can never trust her again. Kenna meets Renaud, who is drawn to her until he learns that she is married. Greer's prostitution business continues to grow, and Leo secretly performs acts of thuggery for the cardinal to obtain Greer's annulment. Louise is frustrated when Mary gives up on their plan to leave Scotland. 8:19 is titled Abandoned. Protestant radicals take a monastery hostage in retaliation for Francis sending troops to Scotland, but Bash and Renaud recover it successfully. When Catherine and Narcisse try to frame Louis for the hostage situation, Louis asks Mary to leave France with him, but she refuses. Louis fears he's no longer safe in France. You think? So when he's approached by another English envoy, Lord Akers, he accepts Elizabeth's proposal. Louis immediately takes part in a secret proxy wedding, making him king consort of England and a traitor to France. The day after, all participants in the ceremony, aside from Louis and Akers, are mysteriously killed and evidence of the wedding are destroyed. Akers, uncertain whether the marriage is still valid, abandons Louis to return to England. Mary learns about the wedding and is heartbroken. Lola and Kenna visit Greer's brothel and are surprised by her success. Bash has seemingly moved on to another woman, enabling Kenna and Renaud to grow closer. Catherine and Narcisse's sexual relationship continues, though Catherine is concerned when she learns that Narcisse still flirts with Lola. 20 is titled Fugitive. Louis is captured by Renaud while trying to flee France with travel papers given by Mary. Akers returns to rescue Louis, informing him that Elizabeth still wishes to marry him and wants him to take the crown of France for her. Louis, with Akers' encouragement, starts gathering a Protestant army in readiness to attack Francis. Francis. Mary realizes the ramifications of her helping Louis and tries to reconcile with Francis. Catherine tells Narcisse to prove his loyalty by hurting Lola deeply. He is successful, but is angry at being forced to do it. Kenna pursues Renaud and they have sex. Claude catches Liv trying to steal for the cardinal, but when she sees how much Liv loves Greer, she gives him her diamond earrings for him to pawn instead. Now, with enough funds to start a new life, Liv proposes to Greer, but she refuses, saying she wants to keep her current independence. Episode 21, The Siege. Louis' army continues to grow, and he coerces Renaud into joining his side by using Renaud's son as leverage. Renaud and his men attack Francis' castle in a first wave, but Francis and his soldiers defeat him, and Renaud is captured after the rest of Louis' army surrounds the castle. Louis asks Francis to surrender, promising that in doing so, Louis can protect Mary from Elizabeth. Francis refuses and decides to make a stand. In anticipation of the oncoming battle, Narcisse kisses Lola before she leaves with her son to safety. Catherine hears about it and in retaliation tricks Narcisse into eating steak made from his beloved horse. Leah protects Claude from Louis' soldiers by hiding in the castle tunnels, where Claude sees a mysterious figure in the shadows. Claude is touched by Leah's commitment to protecting her, and Leah confesses to her that his relationship with Greer has ended. Baz starts a romantic relationship with Delphine and brings her to the castle, hoping that she can replace Nostradamus as court seer. On the eve of the attack, Delphine performs a sexual pagan ritual with a servant boy who's lying on Bash's bloody shirt. Mary sneaks out of the castle to go to Louise, asking that he protect her because she is pregnant with his child. And episode 22, Burn, is the season finale of season 2. Mary's gone to Louis as is a ruse. She has Greer's prostitute poison Louis' soldiers and stabs Louis in the stomach. Francis rides out with soldiers to capture Louis and to clear the rest of the Louis' scattered army, ending the coup. Catherine wants Louis to be executed, but France refuses, not wanting to make Louis a Protestant martyr. Frustrated, Catherine has Lola captured and her son seemingly murdered, too sole to frame Louis. Louis is to be executed but escaped thanks to Elizabeth's agents. Narcisse uncovers Catherine's plot and saves Lola and her son. Francis is angry at his mother's action and has Catherine exiled from court. Renaud is executed for treason against Francis, but before he dies, he warns Kenna that Elizabeth's vendetta against Mary is personal and she will never stop. Kenna tries to reconcile with Bash, but is rejected when Bash learns that Kenna is pregnant with Renaud's child. Kenna leaves court to have a child outside France, and on her journey meets the young king of Imereti. I think that's how you pronounce it. Is Imereti. Mary and Francis renew their relationship and have sex. Afterwards, Francis meets Nostradamus, who he has been seeing in secret, and confesses his hope that Mary is pregnant with a child that will protect her. Nostradamus has been giving Francis medicine. Francis is still sick and knows he'll die soon. Delphine is blamed for the presence of a monster in the castle, and she is arrested after being found with the bloody corpse of the servant she had sex with. Bash learns that his and Delphine's souls are bound together due to the ritual Delphine performed. Delphine is tied to a burning stake for her execution. She escapes, but Bash briefly feels the pain of the fire. Catherine blames Mary for her situation and travels to England, where she offers Queen Elizabeth her help in destroying Mary for good. All this leads up to season 3. So, announcement for season 3: it will no longer be on Friday. Here we go. On January 11, 2015, the CW renewed the series for the 3rd season. At the CW's 2015-2016 upfront, it was announced that the series will be moving the date on it airs on the network. The series will now be airing Friday 8/7 Central instead of Thursdays at 9/8/7 Central. The move was made in order to give the show more of a chance instead of fighting Scandal, which airs on the same spot. Because when you have TV shows that are, you're sort of competing for ratings at this point. We have 2 shows on at the same time. Scandal is like freaking good. Like Thursday nights on ABC is like Shonda Rhimes night. You got Grey's Anatomy comes on first, followed by Scandal, which is followed by How to Get Away with Murder. That's like Thursday night is Shonda Rhimes night. You know, you have other shows that come on. You have I think CBS has The Big Bang Theory. So Rain is competing with these shows on Thursday. So you're like, oh my god, you gotta compete with other shows, so you gotta figure out what's gonna be good. But my thing with Fridays on any channel is not that good of a good time to air any show. Because a lot of shows that I liked it was another show that I liked it that was on a Friday was NBC's Dracula. That lasted only 1 season. It got canceled. A lot of it's the shows that happen on a Friday, they tend to get canceled. So I'm hoping this is not the end of Rain, because I love the show so much. So, as a recap, the rest of the episode. Okay, so we have Louis and Mary eventually have sex. You know, then we have Mary sort of being torn between Louis and Francis, and she becomes even more torn when she finds out that Francis is sick. And so with Francis being sick, it's like Mary has to seriously sit here and decide, like, what do you want to do, Mary? Because at this point, she is just sort of fickle in her emotions at this point. You know, she's just very fickle. And my thing is, Mary, if she's, is this, oh god. But then I'm trying to think in terms of their age. Because when the show started, season 1, she was 15. So I'm trying to figure out, is she still 15 or is she 16? So we're dealing with we're dealing with young royals. Everybody, well, I'm not sure how old Francis was. I gotta remember. Probably gotta go back and watch it. But everybody is pretty much young, you know. So you got young minds dealing with the politics of being royal. Granted, Mary has not made the best decisions. as queen. Also, Frances has not made the best decisions. It's like, when you realize how everything has poured into, has everything accumulated, you realize it's like, and both Frances and Mary both are equally to blame for everything that has unfolded. They both have made decisions that has resulted in very, very bad situation, and they just got to learn to work this out. Marriage is hard, but it's harder when you're king and queen of a country. And then we have Bash getting stabbed, which he believes caused him to pretty much almost killed his brother, and so he believed that by killing Clarissa, which we all believe that by killing Clarissa, Frances will be cured. But when we get to the end of the episode, Frances is like still dying. So it's like, okay, so it didn't matter if Clarissa died or not. Frances apparently is still gonna die. That kind of sucks. But they did say in history Frances did die young. So, Kenna, I'm not really liking her character. It's like she has yet to it's like she has yet to learn that her wanting these material things is what causing her to have these failed relationships. She is a young woman, and yet she still makes these very dumb decisions, like I would expect of a woman her age. I mean, she had Bash. Bash loved her, like, whoo, boy, Bash loved her. God, Bash. So let me smash. That actor right there. Bash, yes. It's like, even when she was with Bash, okay, yes, Bash had a side. He was the deputy of the king, He had certain perks, but Bash is that person who's like, okay, he sees all the, oh crap, I'm gonna fall. He sees all the trouble of having a title can cause. He's watching his brother, who is the king of France, and he has to deal with all this stuff. And Bash is more of the person, I'm a kind of laid back type of guy. I don't need all the stuff. I'm happy with what I have. He's married to Kenna by, of course, King Henry, and she's still not happy. She has all she wants to need, but she wants more. And so now she has found this person who's about to be crowned king in his own land. So Kenna's like, ooh, her eyes is like, Kenna would be like a 15th century gold digger. Like, that's pretty much how I'm seeing Kenna right now. She's like a 15th century gold digger. Greer and Lith, I know that right now there's, they seem like they're not going to get together, but I know they're probably going to get together later in the future. It's just right now, Greer, when you see it from the point of her point, and if you realize how her being a woman, she really wants her independence, and it's not seen as, personally I don't see it as a bad thing, because in this time frame, a woman's literally her future depends on a man, and we already saw what happened what happens when your husband loses everything. You lose everything as well. And we saw that with Lola, when they married off Lola, so nobody would know that the baby was Frances, even though they found that anyway. She was not allowed to get her dowry back, and she was disowned from her family because she slept with a dude one time and got pregnant. One time they disowned her, and she was not allowed to get her dowry back. I'm like, why she's not allowed to get her dowry back? Because a dowry is what the family pays to the groom. A bride price is what the groom pays to the bride and family. If you didn't know what those words mean. So she was not allowed to get her money back. Greer, she was married to, crap, I forgot his name. Castleroy. There we go. Castleroy. Yeah. He was a good guy, but because of the money he donated to something he thought was a good cause, which resulted in these people invading the castle and then Mary getting raped, the money gets traced back to him, and thus Greer, she is guilty by association because that's her husband. So now she is banished from the castle. She's banished. Her title as Mary's lady, everything else that she had, is taken away because of this one incident. So when she became the madam of a brothel, because she already has lived in that life of nobility and everything, and so she dresses her harlots accordingly to be I guess you could say they would be the escorts of that time frame, because she dresses them a bit more nicely to get that type of clientele. She has independence. She doesn't have to worry about a man for her food, her shelter, and for money. You know, for pretty much your basic necessities of life. She doesn't have to worry about that, because if she did, she has to worry about, oh, is my husband gonna do something? Is my husband gonna get thrown in jail? And you know, it's that fear she has to worry about all over again. And she's not pregnant. You know, she's still young. You know, still baby making age and whatever. Then we have that's just right by her logo. Then we have Claude. When Claude was first introduced, I thought she was a bitch. Let's be truthful. I thought she was a bitch. Yeah. But then we get to the side of her when she gets, you know, closer and closer to Leah. We realize that she has been hurt by a man, obviously. And she has been hurt to the point where she has built up a wall. You know, she become cold-hearted and she has built a wall around herself where she doesn't let nobody in. So, I mean, that could go for anybody, male or female. You've been hurt so many times, you don't want to get hurt again. So you put up this persona, you wear this mask, or you wear this mask all the time, so people don't know the real you. And so we got that moment of vulnerability of Claude, and you just like, wow, I mean, still think you're a little bitch, but now I understand why you're a bitch. You know, it's like, now I understand why you're a bitch. Why do I look like a pirate? Anyway. Okay. Back to Bash for a minute. Bash, he didn't mess with a freaking woman in Pagan religion, so now he's connected to this broad who, Bash, I don't know what's gonna happen to Bash, because now he's connected to her. If something happens to her, he's gonna feel it. It's like, I hate her. Like, I want her to die, but if she dies, they might kill Bash. Great. Now Bash has to find some freaking pagan ritual to break this spell so he can be free of her. Oh, God. And in terms of Francis and Mary, Mary obviously she chose Francis over Louis, which we already knew was going to happen. I mean, as we can, the love she had for, I'm not going to say she didn't love Louis. I think she did love him to an extent, but she just loves Francis more. I mean, Francis literally is her first love. Like, yeah, she has known Francis since they were children. She was betrothed to him. They finally got married. They opened up sex. They had a baby, but then she lost it. You know, they have been through a lot together. And Louis, I felt like Louis was sort of like this sort of rebound, you know, guy who helped her heal in the process of the action of her being raped. He was just sort of like that. What's the word I'm looking for? He was just there. He was like her. I don't know the word I'm looking for. Like, he was just there, you know, for her at that point. And, you know, and because he was sort of there for her during terms of her rape, now that she's sort of over it, you know, I'm not over it, you know, a person would never be over something that traumatic, but but it's like, since she has, you know, as we've seen her heal, the attraction and love that she felt for him is not as strong as it was before, you know what I'm saying? So it's sort of like, once she has begun this process of healing, the love and the attraction that she thought was so strong for Louis is slowly fading, and it's like she's now realizing that, you know, I really wasn't that in love with this guy, you know what I'm saying? It's like she's starting to realize it. She had realized that she ended up killing Louis, and now she was with Francis. But with Francis, you know, she has already sort of destroyed that trust with Francis. So now